In the tapestry of American law, where the threads of personal liberty and public safety are intricately woven together, the case of U.S. versus Rahimi has emerged as a pivotal stitch that could unravel decades of gun control. This is the story of one man's actions, igniting a national debate that ascends to the highest court, challenging the very fabric of the Second Amendment. Today, I will unravel the complex saga of Zachary Rahimi, whose troubled journey through violence, retribution, and redemption raises questions that resonate at the core of the American identity. In the heart of Texas, a bastion of individual freedom and personal responsibility, Zachary Rahimi's case emerged as a touchstone for constitutional rights and due process. The domestic altercation that escalated to Rahimi discharging a firearm, although regrettable, pivoted him to the forefront of a pivotal national debate on gun ownership and rights. Faced with a restraining order, Rahimi's decision to maintain his firearms was seen as a deliberate defiance of federal overreach, challenging the constraints on the Second Amendment. The critical issue in U.S. versus Rahimi isn't just one man's actions, but the fundamental legal principles at stake. Can due process be so easily circumvented to strip a law-abiding citizen of the sacred right of self-defense? When the esteemed Fifth Circuit stepped in, courageously overturning Zachary Rahimi's conviction, it sent a powerful message about the sanctity of due process. This pivotal ruling spotlighted glaring oversights in civil proceedings that unjustly restrained Rahimi, sparking urgent dialogue among staunch defenders of constitutional rights about the integrity of our legal system. Rahimi's fight against judicial overreach captured the hearts and minds of conservative Americans, becoming a beacon of a broader battle for due process and Second Amendment protections. Across the nation, legal experts, freedom-focused podcasters, and conservative media outlets rigorously debate the full implications. Rahimi's ordeal has become a fulcrum of a critical conversation, stirring people to consider how this case could redefine the threshold for disarming people and re-examining the foundational tenets of firearm ownership in modern-day America. As Zachary Rahimi's case ascended to the august Supreme Court, the nation watched with bated breath. During oral arguments in the case, Chief Justice John Roberts cast a spotlight on the heart of the matter, grilling both parties about the slippery slope of labeling citizens as dangerous to justify stripping them of constitutional rights, perhaps without the full measure of due process. The landmark case has done more than highlight Rahimi's individual plight. It has shone a harsh light onto a troubling trend in our civil courts. Critics have exposed a disturbing pattern where protective orders are issued, sometimes cavalierly, without ironclad adherence to due process or the assurance of legal representation, raising alarms over potential constitutional infringement. The scrutiny of this particular case has amplified calls for a return to strict application of constitutional principles, ensuring that the legal process aligns with unassailable rights enshrined in the founding document. This quest for a just legal standard that protects against wrongful deprivation of constitutional rights has become a clarion call for conservative Americans. Leading experts and concerned citizens alike have demanded clarity on the harmonization of our nation's long-standing traditions of firearm stewardship with current judicial landscape. The Rahimi case has garnered attention across the political spectrum, prompting groups like Everytown for Gun Safety and the Center for Reproductive Rights to weigh in with amicus briefs. This discord has added a critical dimension to the ongoing conversation about protecting those who are the most vulnerable, while steadfastly upholding the constitutional rights that are the bedrock of the very American liberty. In the case, the justices have deliberated on a critical issue: the constitutionality of a long-standing federal law restricting gun possession for those under domestic violence protection orders. The case's significance has been magnified by the shadow of the landmark 2022 Supreme Court decision in Bruin, which reinforced the principle that gun regulations must align with historical traditions in place at the time the Constitution was written. Within the hallowed halls of the highest court, the justices are weighing the precedent of disarming those who are deemed a threat, including individuals with domestic violence history. Yet, amidst the legal debate, there is a palpable sense of circumspection, signaling that the court might be open to future challenges on the law's application in defense of a broader Second Amendment understanding. This pivotal legal shift underscores a pivotal moment in the ongoing endeavor to balance individual rights with collective security, a cornerstone of the American values. The impending Supreme Court ruling has seismic implications. Victims' rights advocates have argued for the necessity of gun restrictions in cases of domestic violence, citing heightened risk of deadly encounters when firearms are involved. On the other side of the equation, staunch Second Amendment supporters have contended these restrictions unfairly penalize individuals without criminal convictions, encroaching upon their constitutional right to bear arms. The pivotal decision from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which struck down the federal statute preventing those under domestic violence restraining orders from owning firearms, now awaits the Supreme Court's scrutiny. This ruling was set to cast a long shadow, potentially reshaping numerous laws governing gun possession. It wasn't just those under restraining orders who were affected. The outcome could ripple out to touch those of felony records, those struggling with substance abuse, and individuals targeted by so-called red flag laws, all of whom are under the watchful gaze of Americans who hold the Second Amendment dear. The saga of Zachary Rahimi has become a crucible for America's enduring debate over the balance between liberty and law. Found with firearms in violation of a protective order, Rahimi's case, punctuated by his involvement in several shooting incidents, has become emblematic of the dangers posed by armed domestic abusers. As the highest court in our land deliberates, the nation watches, poised for a landmark ruling poised to reshape the landscape of gun ownership and the limits of governmental power. The outcome in this case will forge a path, not only for Rahimi's future, but could also lay down legal precedent reverberating through the annals of American law for years to come. U.S. versus Rahimi is not just a legal battle, but a narrative steeped in pursuit of society that upholds individual freedoms while securing the welfare of its citizens. Until next time, everyone, I've been Uncivil Law. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.